Van, you scared the crap out of me there for a second.
Scare the crap out of me too. I don't need your
His
help to be scared.
his
Yeah.
face disappeared for a moment. And I'm like, "Excuse me? Where are you going?"
I accidentally hit a wrong button on my phone and then
Of
I got
course you
bounced
did.
out.
Of
I
course you
promise
did.
you, 2025, I'm gonna get this whole show thing figured out. You wouldn't think after doing this for 4 years, I'd be better than just on my phone trying to.
I'm not going to say a word. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Mezzo and Arctic Scully here for Kyber Cave Productions Saber Rattle. I hope you are all doing well. And thank you for tuning in for our last show of the season. We're going to be taking a 2 week, at least 2 week break, I think, right? Because I leave on I think I mentioned it to you, but I don't think the dates are quite clear. I leave on the 26th for New Jersey for
Yeah.
10 days.
Well, my thought is we're gonna be off until after New Year's. Like our first show back, I want to say is like January 5th or something.
Oh yeah,
I have to look at the
I'm
calendar.
pretty sure I'll be back around there. We'll figure it out. If not, I can still do work. I can do editing stuff. I have my laptop when I'm there anyway. Um,
I want to remind people too, starting off at the beginning of next year, we got some bangers. We will have
Oh yeah.
two brand new guests that have never been on the show. We have Adasta, who is Dolores from Encanto. She will be here
Yes.
January 15th. And then the weekend after that, we've got Nick Paula, who was Michelangelo in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. So he will be here. Remember, you can ask them questions live. You can talk to them about whatever you want.
Not
So they will
whatever,
be
but
here in
like yeah.
January.
And yeah, I'm very excited about Adasa. I talked to her a little in Gmail, and I'm going to send her a message about getting some stuff from her, so you guys can see a few things early, and spread the word for us because it's a very exciting show. For
Yeah.
those who knew I was sick, I still have a little bit of a cough left. My voice is back. I even sang a little this morning, but I ended up with a sinus infection, and so did my oldest. But I got antibiotics, and then he did about 4 days later. He's still like taking it and on the way to getting better. I'm just got like a tiny bit of a little cough left, and that's it. But yeah. Anyway, so there's this thing that we do.
Hey, wait, really quick. I want to
say
acknowledge
something.
I want to acknowledge that Night Vision said, great job with the Galaxy Edge walkthrough.
Oh,
I've actually gotten a few compliments for our last show because people said that they liked we had Avon and then we also we had a couple of guests on. We had
yeah,
Bobby.
Danny. Bobby Zavala. Bobby Zavala. Yeah.
Right. And then we also had your special report. And I had a couple of people tell me that they really liked kind of the variety of last show and how it felt really different. So
Oh,
I want to
okay.
acknowledge your report. And Jonathan says he's glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very glad to be feeling better as well. So I can be back here for you guys like full on because when I can't really give my all, it sucks. And I was in my bed a lot because when I kept trying to do something, I just would not get better. And I wasn't getting better. And it was really frustrating. And when I can't talk either, it sucks because I'm a talker.
And I want to let people know we're like 20 people or so away from our next giveaway. So get people signed up, get them subscribed to this channel. The more subscribers we get, the faster we give away sabers. And you know what I figured out the other day? I've been using it as a sales pitch at the store, Mets. We give away 10 to 12 sabers a year.
It's like an average of one a month, pretty much.
Yeah, about one a month, every month and a half or so. And sometimes, like, we've had it where it was like just a week between, and then we've had the next giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Raph says hi.
That's the beautiful thing. You can, even if you don't win this time, you can tune in next time and win.
Yes. All right. So,
nerdy news.
It's time for the nerdy news. And so, what's the first on the nerdy news? Celebrity guest confirmed for Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025. Now, Star Wars Celebration
Japan
is
the first guest.
Yeah. Oh gosh, nobody knows who I am. Please. Star Wars Celebration Japan takes place next year. I believe it's April. And here are some of the celebrities confirmed: Diego Luna, who plays Cassian Andor. You got Mads Mikkelsen, who I believe is Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
I love Mads Mikkelsen. He's a fantastic actor, as is his brother. Alan Tudyk. If you guys don't know who Alan Tudyk is, where have you been? Uh, he's the voice of so many characters, endless in Disney. For those who wanted to know the silly things, he's Hey Hey. He's the Duke of Vesselton in Frozen.
But I think he's also isn't he K2S K2SO in
Yeah, the one.
Rogue?
Yes, he is. And then Manny Jacinto, Daniel Logan, Anthony Daniels. You guys know who that is, the original C-3PO and such. And more. If you guys want to know exactly who is confirmed so far, you can check it out in the description below. But I'm also going to pop the link into the chat. And you can find out from there. So that is the first on the news. Now, the next thing on the news is not Star Wars related, but it's nerd related. And for those of you who are a nerd like me, I'm not sure why that popped in.
Yeah, okay.
I have my Stream Deck under the wrong setting. Let me fix it, and I'll have it correct. I pressed the correct button, but I have the wrong setting. Now the correct link is there.
You can head over to kybercave.com. We still have plenty of sabers. We're getting them out faster and faster to people. Our storefront is going to be closing here. I found out we're going to be open 2 days after Christmas. So we'll be open Thursday and Friday. If you get some last minute Christmas money that you want to spend, come on into the shop. And after that, you will be able to get sabers from us either through conventions or online. But of course, the show is going to be running, and I'm hoping 2025 will be a big year for Kyber Cave Productions. My goal is to get us to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I think we can do it.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
I think we can do it.
All right. Next on the nerdy news, like I said, it's not Star Wars related, but I am a nerd in this sense, and I hope those of you who enjoyed the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show will be excited to hear this. Sarah Michelle Gellar changed her mind. She might be down for a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot.
Wow.
So Sarah Michelle Gellar, who is currently appearing on Dexter Original Sin, has recently changed her tune about the chances of a Buffy sequel series. On a recent episode of the Drew Barrymore show, where she was a guest, Gellar admitted that after seeing the success and well-written sequels for other shows like Sex and the City, which is called As You Like It, and she wasn't against the idea of it anymore. She, quote, said, "It's a universe and it makes you think that in this world we need those heroes, I think, more so than ever." So I loved the idea of like just a Buffy reboot and her in it. I know she's not at like the age of the typical Buffy that everyone's used to. I would want like a sequel, just like her as an adult. We all can all have challenges as an adult rather than as a high schooler. Right. But that's what I was like. I was really excited. Excuse me.
See, this is just another argument for me to say that things just aren't as good as they used to be in the 80s and 90s. The 80s and 90s, we had the best shows. Everything just keeps getting remade from that time period.
Yeah, I mean, I understand about like things just being rebooted or remade. I think it'd be good to just have a continuance of it, and then there's still a new aspect to it. I am there, everyone I think is starting to get the fatigue of reboots and remakes sometimes too. Like Disney is doing Lion King again and like the live action.
Mufasa.
And yeah, Mufasa, that one. And I'm kind of like,
what about, okay, so what do you think about like
news story?
What about they're working right now on Goonies, where it's going to be like the original
Why touch something that was already great?
Because there's money to be made. Don't you know that's the whole purpose of Hollywood?
I guess. I mean, really, it's like a pitch meeting with Ryan George all over again. We're going to make money. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay. Anyway, so that is the story of your nerdy news. Now, every year, guys, every week, James Kaiser, aka Darth Cephalus, who's a producer on our channel, brings us a flow of the show. If you would like to submit flows of the show, you can actually submit them to us. You can either reach Darth Cephalus, he does have a YouTube channel, or if you'd like to submit to kybercaveproductions@gmail.com, we can also accept them that way. If you'd like to send it to us there, you can send them to him in file. Or links, like if you just if it's a YouTube video, you can just send a link to the YouTube video. That's perfectly fine as well. But this week's flow of the show is, I actually really enjoy his stuff. It's a very short one, but I think it's a pretty high quality production. They've got a very massive, large room that they do it in, and they have. I put music to it, because of the usual. But he's very athletic. It's very agile. To me, a lot of his stuff is very ballet-esque in how smooth it is. So please enjoy Jedi Knight Vince. You can find out his info in the description below.
Excellent.
You see what I mean by like the jumping acrobats that Spency does? It makes me think of ballet for some reason every time.
That was very AI. It looked like almost not real.
No, and it's great to watch. I actually watch his stuff on TikTok. I follow him on TikTok. So it's very, very enjoyable to see. I see a lot. I watch a lot of, I think I follow like 5 or 6 different flow artists on TikTok, but I don't put them in the talk of the town because I feel like we reserve flow stuff for like flow of the show. So I just don't think about doing, I was like, I feel like that just feels like it's adding, I don't know. I'm weird. I have weird thoughts.
Hey, man, had you ever heard of flow before you came to Saber Rattle?
Nope.
But you enjoy it now, huh?
If I follow flow artists on TikTok, which we will sadly lose next month, then yes.
I am very proud of the fact that we are, as far as I know, the only place that you can watch new and up and coming flow artists, and even established flow artists on a weekly basis, and not just lightsaber flow, but fire flow. I mean, just all kinds of gloving, all kinds of anything aesthetic. So I am very proud of that. We have been doing that for over 3 years now. Not the entire time we've had Saber Rattle, but I think James has been with us about 3 years.
Ever since before I joined, which was 2.5 years ago. Over 2.5 years ago now. I can't believe I've known you that long. I feel old.
You haven't gotten rid of me yet.
I turned 39 last month.
Wow.
You guys didn't know Metzo's birthday was while she was gone at Disney. I was at Galaxy's Edge for my birthday. It was awesome. I rode Rise of the Resistance 5 times.
And we absolutely love that report, too.
I forgot that I was going to upload it as a separate video, and parts of it as shorts on the channel, but I got sick, so it just crashed and didn't even remember it. If you'd like to check out Jedi Knight Vince, I just posted the link in the chat during his video, but you can also check the description below if you're watching as an upload. Now,
before we go into this feature, don't forget we have a Patreon page. I want to thank Night Vision for being one of our new patrons, but I also want to thank Philippe Graveyard, and everybody else who has been. I know I'm missing somebody's name. Who has been with us for a long time, actually.
Jenny was there for a while. We had Matt Granda.
Matt, that's who I'm missing. That's Matt. I want to thank everybody who is helping us out with the Patreon. It goes a long way for helping getting some of the editing done and all the new stuff that we want to bring you. We're constantly trying to make this channel a little bit better each time, and bring you free gifts like the free sabers. And it's with your help and contribution that we're able to do so. You can also help us out by going over to kcpmerch.com for KCP merchandise specifically, or kybercave.com if you are looking for combat sabers. All of that helps this channel grow.
Definitely, absolutely. Also, I want to make sure that our new patron knows that we sent a message on Patreon and would like to let you know that please take a look. So, because we're trying to get you the perks for being a patron.
You get
Our
free gifts for being one of our patrons.
Yes, you get a Kyber Cave Productions hoodie, a Kyber Cave Productions T-shirt, a Kyber Cave T-shirt. You get chopsticks. If you do it 3 months in a row, you get entry into a custom saber giveaway for the May the 4th show that we do. It's like not on the 4th that we do, but it's like the closest to that. Unless the 4th happens to fall on a Sunday, then it's like awesome
Right.
in that sense. But lots of really cool stuff. So we want to get that to you. So please check your Patreon DMs and we'll get that to you. All right, sir, would you like to introduce our guest?
Our guest tonight, I am very excited about. I think she is the perfect way for us to end our year in this holiday season. She is a local in our area. She cosplays. Actually, she's with several different groups, and not just Star Wars groups, but other groups as well. You can see every time I've seen her as a Night Sister, and she is in fact my favorite Night Sister. And one of my favorite people to see. Every time I see her at a convention, I'm always happy and my little heart lights up. So please, with no further ado, give it up for Miss Randy Padu. Oh man, I absolutely love that last photo with the Mando. That is such an artistic picture.
Yeah, that was a really, really good grab at SAC Anime Spring this past year by my friend Jules, and the Mando is my friend Kyle.
How are you tonight, Randy? It's so good. Every time I see you, you're always wearing makeup, and I've never seen your actual face before. How are you tonight?
Hey guys, this is what I look like. I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Now, I was telling people earlier, you were a part of several different cosplay groups. Is that correct?
Yeah, I am a member of the Mandalorian Mercs. I am a member of the Droid Builders. I'm a member of Imperial Outlanders. I am soft looking into joining Rebel Legion and potentially 501st.
Wow. Are they all? Are you?
I also run a.
Oh, I was going to say I've seen other photos of you, and I've seen you in other than Star Wars costumes. But do you prefer to troop with Star Wars groups? It sounds like. What is your attraction? Why have Star Wars as opposed
with Star Wars groups? I do other cosplay though.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like I see you mostly around the Star Wars groups.
I mean, most of the time. There's just a huge community of Star Wars, especially in the Bay Area, because this is where obviously Lucasfilm is and where Star Wars was conceptualized and where it began. And when I first started really attending cons, the Star Wars groups were the groups that I ended up meeting people at. And so that's where I started getting really heavy into cosplay and actually started doing almost exclusively cosplay as opposed to like LARP during the pandemic because of TikTok, and got really popular because of Star Wars, because of my Star Wars cosplay.
So you were filming your cosplays on TikTok?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I know you do an incredible Night Sister. That's the one that I most know you for. But I would assume is probably one of your more popular characters.
She's actually the newest one. She hasn't even been on the TikTok channel. My entire journey with Star Wars cosplay actually started with my Jedi character, who there was a picture of in the intro reel, the Jedi robes with the white hair and the facial tattoos.
Right. Do you like doing the makeup? I know with me, I could never do makeup. I would be all about, oh my God, I got to scratch my face. There's a piece of hair in my face. But I am absolutely amazed when I see people like you who will wear makeup all day long, and it, like, at the end of the day, it still looks fantastic.
I mean, I keep telling myself that I'm gonna make another character, I'm gonna do another cosplay that's not gonna involve, like, heavy makeup or a lot of costuming or a wig, and then inevitably I said that the last time after the Jedi, because that is pretty minimal face makeup,
Right.
and before that, I was doing a chiss, which is obviously body paint, and then I made the Night Sister, and that's, again, body paint with a wig and contacts.
Now, when you do a new
I can't help
character,
it.
do you find like a character that attracts you, like in the Star Wars universe, and you decide to do that? Or is it like someone comes up to you and they're like, oh my God, you would be a really good Twi'lek, or a Twi'lek rebel pilot or something like that? How do you decide what kind of costumes you want to try?
I mean, for the chiss I made because a group of my friends just all decided we wanted to do like old Republic era, like Sith, like bad guys. The
Okay.
Jedi character was because I saw people on TikTok with fabulous Jedi characters and was like, oh my God, I've got to interact with them. I need to make something. And
Right.
then I did, and then Jedi Fallen Order came out, and then I was like, oh my God, Marin is like the best, most coolest thing ever. And so then I had to make a Night Sister.
Right.
And I have a
And
Witcher one from when the Witcher, like, live action series came out. So I made a Witcher because I was like, "Oh my god, Geralt."
right. Are
I
you
can't help it.
making your own costumes, or do you buy pieces online, or do you go to thrift stores? How do you put your costumes together?
No, I make every single piece. There's very few things in my costumes that I don't personally make. My shoes, I don't make
Wow.
my shoes. I will buy leggings because but the overwhelming majority of what I am wearing, I have made, including building my lightsabers.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. So, have you always known, well, how to do, say, seamstress work? And then on top of that, have you always known how to do, like, soldering? And for those people that don't know about lightsabers, it's not necessarily the easiest work in the world because everything is so tiny and small.
So I have been sewing for cosplay, like costuming purposes, since I was about 13. Really, really got into it in high school when Lord of the Rings came out in theaters, and I just desperately needed
Wow.
to be an elf. So that's when I first started doing cosplay. Was actually Lord of the Rings, and I've been cosplaying ever since. I then learned how to do leather work because I wanted to do a Witcher cosplay, so I did a full leather breastplate. I've learned to do scale mail, though the scale mail that I wear is not one I personally made. I did get that commissioned by a dear friend of mine. And then I learned how to do wigs because I cosplayed. And then I started getting into lightsabers and I started just collecting them. Then I started building hilts from parts and then getting just fully already done cores. I'm not
Right.
great with the electronics in the lightsabers. I do still tend to prefer buying cores and building around those, but I have
Okay.
done one custom one. Um,
Right.
but it was not very good. It did not work
So
well.
you've
It
been doing
worked,
this
just
you've been
like
doing this for quite a long time. What I would guess maybe almost half your life or something like that. What is it about cosplay that attracts you
over.
so much? Oh, okay. I didn't want to assume
I
anything.
like to play dress up.
Right. Everybody
It's
loves
fun.
playing dress up.
I like to play dress up, and like when I first got into it, yeah, and when I first got into it, like Lord of the Rings was a formative thing for me as a kid. So when the live action movies were announced, and I was like, oh my God, me and my friends went to go see the midnight release, and we were like, we're all going to dress up. It's going to be amazing. And I was like, I'm going to get to finally be an elf. This is so cool. And so I made a
Right.
costume so I could go be an elf with all of my friends. And, and
Right.
it just went from there. And I love the aspect of getting to conceptualize a character and then actually tangibly bring them into physical existence through
Right.
sewing and prop work and then the physical actual like not role play, but the physical play aspect of cosplay, where you are embodying the character as you interact. It's fun. It's so fascinating to me.
What do you think you like more? Do you like the feeling of accomplishment, creating something, like envisioning something and then putting your hands on it and creating it yourself? Or do you prefer the compliments you get from other people about the work that you've done on your costumes?
It's pretty evenly both, to be super honest. I find it immensely gratifying when I make something and I'm like, hell yeah, this looks super great. I'm so proud of myself. Like, I leveled up my sewing skill. Like, I've done a new technique on this and I'm really proud of myself. And then I wear it out and everyone's like, oh my God, you look so amazing. I've never seen something like this. And then it feeds the ego loop.
Right,
Because that drives me to do more. And I'm like, oh, if I do it
Right.
again, I'll get proud of myself again for making something cool and new, and I get something pretty that I get to wear. And then then people tell me I'm pretty. And I like that.
Well, I'm sure it
I get
happens
concerned
all
when
the
people
time,
tell me I'm
especially with
pretty.
all the characters. We have a question here. Do you help make costumes for other people?
I get concerned with some of them.
Mhm.
Do I help make costumes for other people? I do. Most of the Night Sisters that you've seen me roll around cons with, I have either fully made or helped make their entire costume.
Wow. Wow. You know, I've commented on here before. There's so many people. We've been doing this show 4 years. So we started this during the pandemic. And there's so many people that I've interviewed that at the beginning of the pandemic, they were just making costumes for themselves. But then people had seen their pictures online. And by the time the pandemic ended, they had their own business and didn't even go back to their regular 9-to-5 job. They were just making costumes for other people. Would you ever consider doing something like that?
I actually used to.
No.
Pre-pandemic, I used to actually. I was in a LARP group, and it's a national organization, and I had people commission me for costuming for their LARP characters. So I actually used to do that, but I have problems with control, and I like to have complete creative control over projects. And commission work for people does not lend well to me having complete and utter control over what I'm making. And I found that even though I enjoyed it and it was very fun to come up with concepts with people, being put under the kinds of time constraints and then my own perfectionism tendencies to like make sure that anything I send out is flawless made me more stressed than I felt like it was worth, and it started to take the fun of it away from me.
Yeah, that can be the difficulty when you start doing something to make money from it. Do you have anything? Are you working on anything as we speak? Anything, a new character?
I have 2 things that I'm working on. I have a Mandalorian whose armor that I've been working on for over a year. And then I have another elf costume that I'm also working on.
Nice.
Lord of the Rings.
Eventually
I'll finish Lady Dimitrescu.
Oh, I'm sure that will be one people will be happy to see. Have you ever done, would you ever consider doing a cosplay on stilts? Would you learn how to walk on stilts to do a cosplay?
I would. As long as they're not too tiny. I'm 6'1" anyway. Being that much taller is not that scary to me. I do have like 8-inch platform shoes that I will wear sometimes when I go out. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to actually learning stilts or something.
I guess every time I see you, I'm always sitting down at a booth. So I never realize how tall you are, like in real life. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm sure people comment on that all the time.
Constantly. It's always, especially when I'm in large groups of other people, and it's like person, me. Person.
Right, head boop. Does that give you any advantages or like thoughts of like cosplays that you want to do just because you're taller and you can do something different?
That is one of the driving reasons why a bunch of my friends basically pouted at me until I agreed that I would work on doing Lady D.
See, I
They're all like,
can
you're
definitely
already a
see
million feet tall anyway.
that. I will be excited to see you premiering that at con. Met says, "I love Lady D."
She is. All right, well, I guess I better get it out and finish it then.
Yeah, you have a fan base that is waiting for it. Do you have any other than
Vampire
obviously
Lady. Yes, I do. I know.
obviously you like Star Wars conventions. I mean, with the different groups you were talking about, do you go to other types of conventions too? Do you go to like horror cons or My Little Ponies? Are you a furry?
I am not a furry. God, no. No. I do go to gaming conventions. So I regularly attend KublaCon and DungeonCon. I tabletop game both Dungeons and Dragons, and I also play Magic the Gathering. I've gone to Magic Fest. I was invited to, before the pandemic ruined everything. So in 2020, they were doing Magic Fest in Oakland. It was going to be one of the really big Magic like tournaments, and I was invited as a cosplay guest to go to that, and it was canceled.
Oh no! So it sounds like you were like hardcore committed since birth to the nerd life. It sounds like you've just been all about it ever since you were younger.
Yep. If I could get paid to do nothing but go to cons and be a cosplayer, I would 100% do that.
Oh, see, there are people that make a living for that. I haven't figured that part out yet, but I know there are a lot of cosplayers that somehow like get paid to do it.
I'm so jealous of them, to be honest.
Are you the type of person? Okay, so there's some cons that are, say, like a 3-day con. Let me ask you this. In a 3-day con, how many costumes are you bringing?
If I'm going to be attending all 3 days, I will bring at minimum 3 costumes.
Wow.
Minimum.
So you're not just going to have like one chill day where you're just hanging out in like sweatpants and stuff?
No. Nope.
It looks like down here if you're looking for Oh no, sorry. I was gonna say if you're looking for some side cash, it looks like Banks is looking to get some cosplay work done.
I think Banks wants me to make him a costume for the costume ball that I host annually every year, and it happens to be in February of next year. So
okay. So tell us about this? What is this? The costume ball that you host?
Me and one of my friends. Yeah, me and my friend Chani, who I met on TikTok. She lives up in Eureka. During the pandemic, we're like, we miss hanging out with our friends. We miss getting dressed up with everybody. We decided in some, 2 a.m, caffeine fueled like hangout fest that we wanted to have a fancy dress up party. So she actually hosts a midsummer ball, and then I host a midwinter ball. So she hosts hers typically like towards the end of June, beginning of July. I host mine around January and February. Mine is in Petaluma, and we sell tickets because I have to pay for site rental and food, but it's not anything that I do like for profit. I don't pull a paycheck from it, and it's an excuse for me and all of my friends to dress up in really fancy, exciting clothes and hang out in a really cool historic building and eat really yummy charcuterie.
Wow. Okay. Well, so that answers a couple of. Someone asked, do you have any coming big events this year? So we'll get to that, including that ball. And then Seth says, I want to go to your ball. Is it like themed anything, or is it like steampunk or like Victorian, or is there any special themes? Do you change the themes maybe?
It's a it's a fantasy theme. So we roughly Shawnee and I both have a deep love of like high fantasy stuff like Tolkien. And so the ball is roughly like it's like a fae ball part, like a fae court having a fancy party. And you have the
Wow.
midsummer, like the high fae, and then you have the midwinter, like the dark fae, that's the evil fae. Because she was like, you have to do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm typecast.
We didn't get any
And so
photos of
it's
those, did we?
fantasy themed. I did not send any photos of them because it's not strictly speaking cosplay. Me and the rest of staff portray characters because it is not a LARP event, but it's like an interactive theater event. So
I'm so
staff is all in
fascinated.
character, and we portray the fae court, and you can interact with them. It's so fun.
Wow, I feel like I feel like there should be a murder
We could do
mystery
a whole show about
aspect.
just that.
Yeah, I'm all in. I want to learn about that. That sounds like a ton of fun.
Oh man, I should have sent you the link to the website.
Met says, "What's your favorite memory so far going to cons?"
So far going to cons, my favorite memory that comes off the top of my head immediately is actually at Fan Expo this year, that I went to back at the end of November. The Mando Mercs and the 501st got to go upstairs at the very closing time during Saturday, and we got to actually meet Jonathan Rhys Davies.
Wow,
that was really amazing because obviously, like I said, I'm an avid Lord of the Rings fan, and I got to meet Gimli and also Sala. So I'm a big Indiana Jones fan, so it was just amazing to get to actually meet him in person.
Did you pee yourself?
It was so cool. No, I did not pee myself. I kept my chill. I was well behaved. I was like, I'm gonna be gonna be cool. We're gonna be cool. And then I had my friends, my Mercs friends with me, and they were like, I am so surprised you didn't literally pass out. I'm like, man.
When you go to cons, I often see you with the mechs, the astromechs and stuff like that. Do you go just to kind of hang out and be dressed, or do you like going to see the celebrities and talking to them? What is your big motivation at the cons? What do you like to do there?
I mean, I do love to wander Artists Alley and wander through the vendor hall and just kind of see all the cool stuff. And I love to see other people's costumes, and I love to see what other people made and what they've cosplayed as. So I go, like you said, I hang out with the Astromechs, I hang out with R2SC and the D Squad and the Droid Builders, and I'll hang out at the booth for most of the day because people want to come up and take pictures with us and with the droids, and I'm totally down to have people take photos with me. And it's a charity thing for us. We collect donations we were recently doing Make-A-Wish, and so I love doing that and hanging out with all my nerdy cosplay friends, but I really just love seeing and interacting with people and seeing their costumes, and especially seeing little kids get so unhinged and excited. I had one kid at SAC Anime Summer this year that saw one of my friends and literally ran over and climbed on his leg. This guy was the coolest thing he'd ever seen in the history of ever. And then he turned and he saw me and the other Night Sisters, got high-eyed, screamed, ran, and hid behind his dad.
Oh man. Yeah, and I imagine, well, I mean, I have seen you for the sake of the audience, you really get into character as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, I do. I have a long LARP background. I've been doing live action role play or interactive theater ever since I was in my teens. So I get really into it.
Right.
And it's fun and people really enjoy it.
So. Do you have any problem? Okay, so I like the Sith. I am all about the dark side stuff, But I remember going to an event and we were doing a birthday party, and somebody told me I should be a Jedi because Sith don't smile. Like I have a really tough problem getting completely into character. Is that ever an issue with you?
I don't. It has been an issue occasionally, just because some, especially when you're dealing with little kids, like it's hard to maintain that sort of like very demeanor with children, because you don't want to like scare the kid. You don't want the kid to think that you're mean. You gotta kind of break it a little bit when you're interacting with children. But like when I'm interacting with adults, if I'm already fully immersed, yeah, no, it's not an issue, because I'm not me at that point. I can compartmentalize it really, really well.
Right. Well, it sounds like we're getting some pictures going. Cindy might be sending some pictures to Mets of you, so we might be getting some photos here in just a little bit. Is there somebody that you?
Oh, awesome! Is it from Cindy? I bet it's Cindy.
It is from Cindy. Yeah. Is Cindy one of your cohorts?
Cindy is one of my cohorts. Cindy and I cosplay together. We share a couple of groups in common, and so we do end up at a lot of the same events. And because, I mean, the cosplay community, even the Star Wars cosplay community, as big as it is terrifyingly small.
Right.
And so everybody you can't play the 7 degrees of separation in the Star Wars community doesn't exist.
So when you're going to an event, so let's say you're going to a con and you are going to as a guest of the droid builders, do you communicate with other groups or other friends and say, hey, I'm going to be dressed as the Night Sister? Do you try to like coordinate, or do you just wear what you feel like wearing for that event?
Oh no, I coordinate. We always coordinate. That's how come we always have so many Night Sisters running around. Why it's usually not just me. Because I'll put out the call and be like, hey, I'm going to be at this event. I'm going to be wearing this costume. Like, you guys going to show up? Let's all have our Night Sisters. Like at SAC Winter here in a couple weeks, there's, I think, going to be 5 of us.
Oh, wow.
Bob, Pat, me, Kai, and Jules. Yes, there will be 5 of us at that one.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely amazing. That is so much fun. Have you ever been to any of the have you ever been to any of the like the premiere events or anything like that where like Lucasfilm like invites you to come out?
Yep, I've been to the Ahsoka premiere event. I was just, the other week I was at the Skeleton Crew premiere event in Daly City. I did the premiere event for Acolyte, and I also did the premiere event for Bad Batch Season 3.
Oh my! So and this is because you were parts of groups?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely. The Mando Mercs, is that the primarily like the one that gets you into the most gigs?
That was my first like real cosplay group that I joined, and I'm still working on my armor. I do help my local clan with admin stuff since I'm not an official member yet because I don't have approved armor, though I'm working on it. But because they are a Lucasfilm affiliate group like the Rebel Legion and the 501st, they do get invited to these events, and I have been very fortunate in that I've been able to attend several of them as a result. That
is so cool. That's Terran Clan, right?
Yes, I am a Terran Clan.
Oh man, that's good. I still gotta finish. I started some Mando stuff. I just I put it off, and I have not. I need to get together to like at an armor party. But I started doing a crossover of Marvin the Martian Mando, so it's gonna be Marvin the Mando. But I have like instead of putting the visor in, I have it wide, and then I got a black mask with white eyes, and then I'm gonna have his brush on the top of the Mando helmet. I need to get your help on it.
Nice. Yeah, you should come to one of our armor parties.
I'm all about the armor party. What is your favorite part
we have them once a month.
I didn't know they were that often. Okay, I'm so there. You have to let me know when the next one is. Ooh, we're getting photos. It looks like photos are happening.
I'll let you know. Oh,
So
goodness.
what is your favorite part? Do you like the working on things? And how long will you work on some? For example, what is the longest you've ever worked on a costume? How long have you worked on just one particular character?
I mean, I've been working on my Mando on and off for the better part of 2 years at this point, but I can only Hey, Cindy took that one. That
Ooh, I
was at
love that. That's
LodeICon
how
this
I
year.
see you most often.
That is how you usually see me. Yeah, these are all done at LodeICon. The picture in the intro vid with me and the other Night Sister that was behind me was done by Cindy at this convention. That's
Ooh.
that one, and that's my daughter in the back.
Oh man, that's amazing. How is it? And that's another question too. I knew about this, but how is it cosplaying as a family? Do you like cosplaying and having your kids with you, or you have just one daughter, correct?
Just the one.
No.
Just the one. And I love cosplaying with my kid. I love having Miranda come out with me and Night Sister it up with me. And they have said that they would like a Mandalorian set of armor. And I told them that they can have Mando armor when they stop growing. Because if I start it now, by the time I finish it, it won't fit them anymore.
Yeah, I have one kid,
it.
but he is just not about the cosplay or any of that stuff at all.
No, but he's fun. I love seeing him at the booth whenever I swing by and see you guys and chatting with him and hearing him and my kid argue about whether or not I need to buy more lightsabers is always super funny.
Yeah, he's always going to be pushing you to buy more sabers. That is for sure. The nice thing about collecting sabers, you never have money for drugs.
It's true facts. Like I don't want to talk about how many hundreds of dollars I've spent on lightsabers.
Yeah, well, I was even going to say, as far as 15 costumes, one of the things that I always find absolutely like mind blowing is, especially like with people that are in the 501st or Rebel Legion, is how much money and time people will put into one costume, just one, and they're like constantly trying to, get a better belt or better boots or little accessories, and then they can't recoup this money. It's not like you can charge people, and work, part of the Lucasfilm agreement is that you're not allowed to make money from these. It is just absolutely mind-blowing to me that people do that. Oh, what has been the most that you have ever...
It's a labor of love, for sure.
I would imagine. What's been the most time you've ever spent and or cash you've ever spent on a costume? And has it caused family problems?
The most I've ever spent in material, not counting my labor to sew or craft anything, the most cost I've ever spent on just materials was probably around $500 on one cosplay. And I think I've, not counting the Mando armor because that's not finished, I think the longest that I've ever worked on a single costume was probably about 9 months.
Wow.
But that costume's very detailed. So.
Yeah.
And then, that's also like, if I'm doing Star Wars cosplay, if I'm not counting like lightsabers, because I mean, as you know, like lightsabers that's a pricey investment in them, and I have 15 at this point.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah, I spent $500 in materials, not counting my lightsaber, which was another $300 on its own. Like
that is amazing.
To the point that it's like, if I
we'll have to get you sponsored to feed your lightsaber addiction.
Oh, please, that would be so cool. I would love a lightsaber sponsorship.
So what do you have? Do you have things like within this year? Someone had asked, do you have shows that you're planning on going to, or what you have going on this year? Do you have goals or Do you ever have things like, I don't know, like, are you, first off, okay, this is a separate question, but tied in. Do you ever enter the competitions for the costume contest? And is it your goal to, like, you know, go to like one of these really premier costume contests and win one of those?
I don't generally enter the cosplay competitions. Partly because since I've not technically won like a large scale competition, I would be entered in at the beginner or like in like the beginner level of a cosplay competition, and I would feel guilty competing at a beginner's level when I have the background that I have and I've been doing it as long as I have. It feels
Right.
disingenuous. Also, I'm a hyper competitive person and have a tendency to be kind of a sore loser. So I wouldn't want to do it. I've done one competition. It was with my child. We were at East Bay Comic Con and we lost to a fantastic Din Djarin and Bo-Katan duo. But that was the only one I've ever entered. And yeah, we're not doing.
And then you went and beat up that family
No.
afterwards.
The last. No, they legitimately deserve to win. Their kit was stellar. But like, yeah, I was, looking around at the other people in the convention. I was like, I better not lose to any of these people. I swear to God.
Do you have a favorite material that you like to work with, like say foam or plastic? I know like with a lot of the Mando stuff, it tends to be like that hard plastic that you can heat and kind of mold it to your own body. Do you have a favorite material that you work with, that you like to work with?
I mean, besides fabric, like, I mean, if it's fabric, it's natural fabric all the way is my favorite. Linen is so nice to work with. I love working with leather. I don't love working with the hard prop stuff that the Mando armor is made out of, partly because I'm bad at it and I'm not immediately good at the thing, so I don't like the thing. And partly because I don't have a lot of experience with it. That's why I have all the guys to help me. That's why I go to the armor parties.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always you just seem to like
all day long. That's where I am.
I'm all about that. You can do that. You seem to fit in with so many different groups and so many different like I said, you're in the Mando merch, you're with the droids, you're with the Imperial Outlanders. And a lot of times it'll be a lot of guys. Are you comfortable being in all different kind of situations?
Yep. Yeah, I have no problem being in all sorts of situations. I was in choir when I was in school. I hung out with the kids in the drama clubs. I'm used to being around tons of people and being in really loud environments or very chaotic environments. And then I did LARP, and LARP forces you to interact with people
Right.
in a capacity that's not you being yourself. So like I mentioned earlier, I can kind of compartmentalize being at cons and being around people and interacting with people separate from like everything else.
Right. In your normal everyday 9 to 5 life, does your normal job, or do you have to be a people person at that type of job too?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
do. So you're very, very used to it. Cindy
Sadly,
says
yes.
linens and raw silk are my favorite too, but cotton is my go-to because of the cost. Do you
Yeah,
have to think
100%
about that a
true.
lot of times when you're
Linen silk is
building
so
your
expensive.
costumes? Are you having to budget them out ahead of time to figure out what you can do realistically, or like if you can use real leather or have to use fake leather because of the cost of the build?
Sometimes I budget stuff out ahead of time, but I generally the way that I go about doing costuming for a character is I kind of identify what the major pieces of the outfit are going to be and in what order I'm going to work on them, and then budget sort of within that. but I will generally like go, okay, well, you know, I could use fake leather for this. I have it on hand because I have a giant stash of fabric. So for now, we'll use this. But the intention is later I'm going to come back and actually do it properly in actual leather because yes, it's more expensive, but the longevity of the prop is like significantly greater.
Right. Do you have a room in your house where it's just like bits of scrap all over the place?
I used to have a sewing room in my house, yes, and it was jam-packed full of it was my filming studio for TikTok as well as my crafting studio, and it was a disaster zone. But now it's my garage. My garage is an absolute we refer going to the garage as going splunking. It's bad. It's bad.
Really quickly, I want to say, Ardent, we're happy you caught us. Even if you have to catch up, we're happy you caught the stream. Thank you for tuning in. And what do you got? What do you got going for this year? Do you have any costumes that you're working on, or things that you intend to work on, or shows that you're really looking forward to?
For this year, I have my big goal is get my Mando armor finished. That's like big goal. In terms of cons, I am doing SAC Anime Winter. I'll be at SAC Spring. I'll be at SAC Summer because I'm always at the SAC Con events. I will probably be at VacaCon. I will probably be at LodiCon again for both of those shows.
Wow.
Probably go to KublaCon. My big thing, if I can make all the pieces fall into place, is I will be at Star Wars Celebration. So
wow.
That's the really big one.
That is a huge. You're going to Japan. If you go to that, I'm sneaking in your luggage. I'm going to hide out in your luggage.
Hopefully, as long as I can make it work.
Yeah.
I just picked up a new case for my Mando armor today. I swear, Ark, you would probably fit in it. It's huge. I'm so excited.
Oh, man, Randy, I am really excited. I always love seeing you at the shows. You are seriously, no joke, one of my favorite people to see. Every time I see you, I always get very happy. You're always fun, and I like how you're in character, and like, especially when you've got a couple of other Night Sisters with you. You guys just look so menacing. Yeah.
That's the best. Terrorizing people is fun.
I want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It has been absolutely a fun way to end the season. And I look forward to seeing you at many more cons in 2025. And I'm excited for your Lady D.
Okay, I will get Lady D finished.
All right, Miss Rainey, thank you so much, and you have a beautiful holiday, and the best to you and your family.
Thank you. You too. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Peace. All right, roll.
Well, hello. That was fun. I cannot. I was trying to say in chat, jealousy does not even like begin to convey how I feel about her trips.
I can see you doing. I can see you doing a Night Sister, Mets.
Could you?
I could see you doing a Night Sister.
I make some cool poses. I have two sabers.
That's right. You can double swing them.
I have the Mets, however you want to say it. This one's named after me, Dusk.
Yes.
And I love it. It was my Christmas present a year ago from Van.
You know what's funny? Of all the hosts that I have named, all the hosts on our show, except for Ron Mullins, who was our newest producer, which, by the way, I want to remind you, if you guys have not watched the, what is it? The mashup, cosplay mashup universe. What does he call it? Mashup universe. Wait, multiverse of cosplay.
I was gonna watch you I was just gonna watch you do the struggle. I wasn't gonna help you at all.
The multiverse of cosplay. If you have not watched that, make sure to check that out on Kyber K Productions. It is absolutely hilarious. I think he has 4 episodes up on our channel, which is fantastic. Make sure to check that out. I think Ron and myself are the only ones that don't have sabers named after them yet.
Oh, well then maybe you should get one somewhere.
All right.
Alrighty. All right. Thank you so much, Dusk, for coming on. I very much enjoyed hearing all about your world and your community. And it was great to see a lot of several of your community members show up in the chat and ask questions and take part. So that was a lot of fun. One day I'll have a saber named after me or that. Who knows? You know,
all you have to do is become a producer on this channel. Produce some content.
Let me tell you. It is hard work at times, Kay. It's not like you just get to be named producer. So I'm telling you, if you were ever accepted to the KCP family, it's not easy.
And you got to deal with me.
that too, yeah.
That is the worst part.
No, worst part. That sounds absolutely horrendous. That's not how we do. All right. Anyway, moving on. Guys, it's time for Guess That Character.
I hope it's not crazy hard.
I think they'll be relatively easy.
Okay. I'm excited because I don't know this week.
Especially the first one.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put my comments in the private chat.
Everyone in the chat, put who you think this is into the chat. I think it's an easier one. Van has it correct.
Yay!
Swisted thought it was Dooku. Ardat says Grievous, like General Grievous.
Hey, what's up, Patrick? It's good to see you, my brother.
Yes. Hi, Randy House. I think I know that one.
Randy House.
General Grievous. Yes, it is General Grievous.
Yeah.
So, recognized for his ruthless tactics and extensive cybernetic enhancements, Grievous utilized the separatist droid army and his adept combat skills to instill fear into the galaxy. As he traveled to and invaded planets while engaging in numerous Knights of the Jedi Order, his sworn enemies. And everyone knows him, General Kenobi, you know. Grievous was ultimately slain by his nemesis, General Kenobi, following a prolonged chase between the two, which resulted in the war's conclusion as well as the Confederacy's systematic collapse soon after. I forgot, like, I haven't seen General Grievous, like, really looked at his character design in a while, and I forgot how haunting his eyes are. Hi, Swisted.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
One of the little pieces of trivia about him that most people know, but I don't know if you know, Metz, is you know how he coughs throughout the whole thing? Like you always hear him coughing?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually George Lucas's cough because he was sick during the production of Phantom Menace.
Oh,
so that's actually George Lucas.
Okay, interesting. That is an interesting tidbit of information. All right. The next character to guess. Who is this?
Oh, let's see.
Who is that?
Whose head looks like an egg? Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to put it down here, but I don't think mine's correct. I was thinking Twiki from Buck Rogers, too.
It's somebody from Star Wars world. Ark, you were not correct.
Oh, we got a couple of different Sabine, Shinhati.
Let me just tell you, all of you are not correct.
Oh,
this is actually Mon Mothma.
Oh,
yeah. So Mon Mothma, also known affectionately sometimes as Double M, was a human female Chandrilan politician and revolutionary leader who was among one of the alliance to restore the Republic's founding members and its civilian leader. So yeah, the angle got you, huh? I
thought it was the helmet as well.
The end of Mothma's chancellery brought to a close to a period of unity in the Republic, with several political factions such as the centrists and the populists breaking out in disagreement over the best future for the new government. So you can see Mon Mothma most recently in the Star Wars storyline from excuse me, in Andor. It was very interesting because in some moments, if you've seen Game of Thrones, Andor reminded me of moments like in Game of Thrones where there was a very political scenes happening, like how to describe it, like the backstabbing and blackmailing and things like that happening in Andor. Reminded me of scenes in Game of Thrones, just not quite as brutal, thankfully. So that is your Guess That character for the week. For the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year, I know,
I
crazy.
know. If I didn't have Mezzo here had to excuse me, rush to edit because I sometimes I'll do my editing on Friday night, Saturday afternoons, like mid
We
morning.
had the power out this weekend.
I had a power outage this weekend, and yesterday I was at an event for my church, and I was about to head home to go edit, and the power went out at my house, and so I didn't rush home because I was like, I obviously can't work if I have no power. And I got home, and it still was out, and it actually was out until about 8:45 last night. So we had about like almost 8. Is it 8 hours, 8.5 hours of no power?
Wow,
so it was the longest we've gone, I think, ever without power here. And it gets dark so early now. So it's just but it was really funny because the things that you do when the power is out, right? My husband has this headlamp. So every year we go to Mexico for a mission trip to help build a house. And he has this headlamp that we've used, like if you have to go to the restroom or something in the middle of the night, because it's no power. It's like you're camping, basically. And he had put it under we had it ready just like for, the power outage. And he put it under his hand. And if you didn't know, your skin is actually slightly translucent. I don't know where Van went. He pushed another button on his phone. And when you put a bright light underneath, you actually can see like your veins and stuff in your hand. It's really interesting. So I was taking pictures of my husband's hand, showing like the veins and stuff because it looked really, really cool. And the moment like I hit the button to take the picture, the power came back on very suddenly. And we're like, whoa, that was really cool. And Van at least heard it because he had his computer.
Yes.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, if you guys wanted me to show it up real quick before we end the show, I can actually throw the picture up real quick of his hand and the veins showing through it. It's really interesting. I actually found it really, really interesting. We're like, I'm just sitting there like, click, all of a sudden all the lights came on in our room. We're like, whoa, that was cool. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah, your finger is in front of your phone, and you're like showing your finger around.
Sorry, I'm in the chat. Sorry, in the private chat.
Oh, okay. I hadn't actually gone in there yet. Yes, and we appreciate you being on very much, Dusk. I'm trying to wait for I'm gonna laugh if my own email ended up in spam.
Hey, how far are we from our next giveaway? I can't see it because I'm on my phone.
That's a good question because I've been sick. I hadn't really checked in a bit. So let me check right this very second. We are actually 17 away.
17 away.
We are only 17 away from our next giveaway, guys. Wow. We're almost at 2,400 subs. That's wow. Stop hitting a button, Ark.
Am I hitting stuff? Am I?
Yeah, you accidentally hit to go solo, so it was just me for a second there. Yeah, time to grab 17 people. Be right back.
Thank you. Yeah, and don't forget, so we're at 2,400. So at 2,500, so the next giveaway, not this Saber giveaway, the one after, we will give away a NeoPixel.
Yes. Very excited for that.
Thank you, Arden. Go grab 17 more. Go start set up 17 more
accounts. Just go ahead out. Go walk out into the street. Everybody follow.
Don't forget, the more you guys share, the more you leave comments, it puts us out into the algorithm. The more people that we have subscribing to this channel, the faster we give away sabers. I would love to be able to give away sabers every single week. How crazy would that be, Matt?
That would be epic. Okay, time to grab 117 now.
Yeah.
Okay, to show you real quick just what it looked like. Let me just throw it up here in just a second. It was so cool to like when you can see that kind of thing. Excuse me. This is my husband's hand with the light underneath it, and you can see his veins.
Oh, that's crazy.
Isn't that cool?
Weird.
Okay, so that was a totally cool weird out moment, right? Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Just because Saber Rattle is not going to be here, don't think we're not going to have any content. You keep an eye out. We've got some things planned for you. So I'm very excited for that. We will see you, though, on Saber Rattle after the new year with our next exciting guest we have coming up with Adasa, who plays Dolores in Encanto. Disney's Encanto, like the actual movie Encanto, not just like a guest,
not like a knockoff
costume. Not say knockoff. I was going to say fan made video.
I am so excited. So, okay, I want to say we have been very fortunate on this show. We've gotten to talk to some really cool people. We're good friends with Squid Game actors. We've talked to several Star Wars actors. We've talked to Warner Brother cartoon artists. But this may be one of the biggest interviews. And I say that because when Encanto came out in 2021, I think about a year later, I had messaged Adasa because Dolores is actually my personal favorite character in Encanto. And I had messaged her to be on the show. And she was one of the most polite letdowns I have ever gotten. She basically told me no, but thank you for offering.
No, in the nicest way.
In the nicest way. But then I met her just about 2 months ago, and we've got a great photo of her at the booth, holding lightsabers.
Yes, you did.
But
yep.
She is such a cool person, and she agreed to be on our show. So I'm really excited. Please let all your friends know. And remember, it's live interactive. So you can talk to her. You can ask her about her experiences or, why Disney's destroying Star Wars.
Like what Swissa said. Anyone seen a hand lying around Luke at Cloud City a few weeks later? Like that was my husband's hand. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Have a happy holidays and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. All of the holidays. Please enjoy.
In a couple weeks.
Yes,
but don't forget, there's plenty of old content. Watch all of our old shows.
Yes, there's lots of old shows. Please enjoy your Taco Town for the end of the year. Bye.
And thank you.